Hello, my witchlets. Today we are going to make condiments. We're going to make 3 different condiments. We're going to make a simple ketchup, a simple mustard, and we're going to make some barbecue sauce, which actually is going to use the simple mustard that we make. So you'll probably want either a squeeze bottle or a small jar or something like that to put your condiments into for use. And we'll come back and we'll get started. You're gonna need 2 6-ounce cans of tomato paste for the one for the barbecue sauce, one for the ketchup. And this actually will have you using both your ketchup and your mustard from for the barbecue sauce. So let's get this thing started. Okay, so we're back and I have my coffee and we have everything here that we're gonna need for, you can't see everything, but we have it all here for the ketchup. So I'm starting with my tomato paste in my container here. And to this, we are going to add 1/3 cup of water, 2 tablespoons of, you can use either vinegar or lemon juice. Vinegar was more convenient for me, so and this is just a simple white vinegar. You could use apple cider vinegar probably, and it would be okay, but I'm using distilled white. So you want 2 tablespoons of that. There we go. I'm having a bit of a flare today, so my hands aren't working properly, and I do apologize. Then you're gonna want 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Actually, before you do the cinnamon, you want 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder. Now, I use Coleman's mustard because it's very spicy, and I like that. I like that about my mustards. So there's 1/4 teaspoon of the mustard powder. Well, we're gonna use this mustard powder here in a few minutes when we go to make the simple mustard. So be prepared. So 1/4 teaspoon of mustard powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. You need 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then it wants a pinch of ground cloves. Which, if I remember correctly, a pinch is about 1/8 teaspoon. So, ground cloves, ground allspice, same thing, a pinch. And then, optionally, you can add 1/8 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Of course I will. Thank you. And then you're gonna go ahead and whisk all of this together in your bowl or your container here. I'm obviously using a Pyrex mixing container because it's easier for me to handle right now. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour this into one of these, or scoop it into one of these. Or I guess I could just put it in a container, like a jar. I have plenty of jars. Now you will need 1/4 cup of your homemade ketchup here for your barbecue sauce, which we will make in a few minutes. So I'm just gonna leave it in this container for now so that I can come back to it in a few minutes. So next up is our simple mustard, and this really is very simple. You are going to combine your mustard powder, half a cup of mustard powder, and half a cup of water, and mix them together. And that's it. That is your simple mustard. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently because I like playing with the flavors that I have. So I'm gonna get a container to put the mustard in, and we're gonna use white wine vinegar, the mustard powder, and I'm gonna put some herbs in there as well and make it kind of flavorful that way. So I will be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna start with my mustard powder, and I'm gonna do half a cup of mustard powder. Why would you make your own condiments? Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, we're in a pandemic still, and going to the store might not be feasible for you. So it might be easier if you run out of your condiments to just go ahead and make your own. If you have certain dietary restrictions, it might be better for you to make your own condiments. That way you know exactly what is in them and you don't have to worry about anything. It's fun. It's a great pastime. You can, I mean, it might be a bit of a cheesy gift, but you can give it as a gift to friends and family for, you know, various and sundry reasons. I personally like making my own condiments because I get to control the flavors, and I get to make a lot of different decisions about the type and style of condiment that I am making. So, and that just makes me happy. So that is half a cup of mustard powder. I decided I was going to use the herb de Provence and add probably about I think I'm gonna do half a teaspoon of herbs and see how I feel about things. Yeah, that should be plenty. And then the final thing I'm gonna do is my half a cup of white wine vinegar. And this should give it a really good flavor. Now, if you're not used to spicy mustards, this is a very spicy mustard. It will bring tears to your eyes if you are not expecting it. I first encountered this type of mustard when I went to England. I didn't know there was such a thing as yellow mustard that was spicy. Like, I've seen spicy brown, I've seen, you know, various and sundry other mustards that are labeled as spicy. This was just basic yellow mustard, but it was Coleman's yellow mustard, and Coleman's yellow mustard is hot. So it was good, just wasn't what I was expecting for my chips. So, you know, but it was fantastic. Okay, so I got most of this shaken. I'm gonna go ahead and dislodge everything. Ooh, this smells amazing. Dislodge everything from the bottom here. So these recipes can be found on the paleoleap.com, and they recommend waiting for about 15 minutes before, you know, just slosh in your mustard onto a piece of bread or a sandwich or whatever, because it is hot. So, and if that's not your thing, you're not gonna like it. It'll calm down a little bit if you let it stand for about 15 or so, but it's not gonna calm down like to what you would expect from a regular golden yellow mustard. This is also a little bit thinner than your normal mustard, so be aware of that too. All right, so I'm gonna let that sit for about 15 minutes or so, and we'll be back and we'll get things set up to do the barbecue sauce, which will be deliciously tasty. All right, so it's time to start our process here for the barbecue sauce. So we're gonna start with a pot, and we're gonna take some cooking fat of some type and just, you know, use a little bit. I am using mustard oil, which is not actually food grade in the United States or something like that. It's perfectly fine to use, just you don't want to use it on a daily basis for every meal that you make, but the small amounts that I use are perfectly fine for cooking. So I'm going to put some oil in there and get that heated up. And then we are going to take an entire onion that has been minced, and we're going to cook this in said oil along with about a tablespoon of minced garlic, because you want a whole clove of minced garlic. So, and you know, I like garlic, so I'm gonna use a tablespoon. Anyway, so we're gonna get that coated there. We're gonna start here we go. And minced garlic. Now, you're probably going to want to run this through an immersion blender at the end of it to smooth it out and everything. Otherwise, it's probably not going to fit through the opening of your squeeze bottle. There we go. So we're going to cook this for approximately 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to get the onions sauteed and translucent and such. So I'll come back in a few minutes here and show you what to do next. Okay, so our onions are on the verge of being translucent here. So we're gonna give these a hearty stir. I actually added the garlic a little too early. You should be adding the garlic right about now and letting it cook for about a minute or so. But stuff happens, and we just move on. So once you get your onions to this point where they're kind of translucent and tender, you are going to add the rest of everything. So you're going to add your 6 ounces of tomato paste. Cameraman Ken, how are you feeling about being on camera?
Yeah.
Because this flare is making it very, very, very difficult for me to be near an open flame. If you would not mind.
I don't mind.
So you're going to put in your 6 ounces of tomato paste, and I'll hand you the other stuff. Sorry. 1/4 cup of your homemade ketchup. Yay! Three tablespoons of your homemade mustard. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire. And then half a cup of water. Half a cup of apple cider vinegar. And we're gonna do a pinch of cinnamon and a pinch of cloves. And we're going to combine that together by stirring it, and then it will need to simmer for 30 minutes. So we will let cameraman Ken demonstrate here.
Well, the cameraman can make a mess.
Yeah, well.
That's all right. I'm the one who cleans it up, so it's fair.
So once you get all that combined together, you're going to bring it to a simmer, reduce the heat, and let it simmer for 30 minutes. And we'll be back in about 30 minutes. Okay, so I had to change shirts because it's 84 degrees, and that's probably part of why I'm in a flare. So I've run this through an immersion blender, and now it's time to add in our hot sauce. So I'm going to add in some of the Torchbearer's garlic reaper sauce, because of course I am. That's probably enough.
Yeah, just about.
So you want to stir that in. And get it well combined, and then you're going to give it a quick taste to make sure that it's the spice level you want. Yeah, that's really tasty. It's got a nice lingering heat to it. It's a slow burn is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let this cool so that I can put it in my plastic container here. But as you can see, this is our mustard that we made today. This is our ketchup, and this is our barbecue sauce. So these things will all store well in the fridge for a few months, I believe. Oh, hey, I did get that in my hair. That's awesome.
Better your hair than your eye.
Yeah, just that was not what I was expecting. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, go ahead and hit the thumbs down button and leave me a comment. Leave me a comment even if you do like the video. It's great. It helps me out. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel and rung the notification bell so that you are notified when all of my new videos come out. Also, you can pop over to Patreon at patreon.com/KWOS and consider supporting me there. There are some videos. I actually have 3 videos that I need to upload for my patrons only, so be looking out for those. There are some blog posts and some stuff going on over on Patreon that's just for patrons. So that's it. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time.